Could you buy liquor or even a car on Sundays in Texas? How that could be turned around.
Plus a reprieve for an East Texan on death row, set to be put to death this week. Next at 10.
This is CBS 19 News at 10.
Tonight on CBS 19, the wife of a Smith County constable is being investigated, while the fire marshal is weighing in on the integrity of his workers.
Plus, Texans are one step closer to carrying handguns openly in the state. We'll tell you who voted in favor of the bill.
And a wild chase in a stolen ambulance. Find out what happened to the driver. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Landess.
And I'm Gillian Sheridan. Our top story this evening, the Smith County Fire Marshal says his office is moving forward with an investigation into Deputy Liz Smith.
Liz is the wife of Constable John Smith, who shot himself earlier this year. The sheriff's office ruled the shooting was a suicide attempt. The fire marshal investigating reports that Smith gave inconsistent statements to the media about what really happened the night her husband was shot.
CBS 19's Samuel King is in the studio with us tonight. Samuel, first, why is the fire marshal investigating this in the first place?
Well, Gillian and Mike, Liz Smith is a Lindale ISD resource officer, and the Smith County Fire Marshal holds a commission for those officers. Marshal Jay Brooks tells me this investigation is not a witch hunt, but rather it's about the integrity of the office. Smith County Fire Marshal Jay Brooks wants to know if the statements Liz Smith gave to investigators and the media, including this interview with our partners at the Tyler Morning Telegraph, are consistent with what really happened the night Constable John Smith shot himself.
Based on information that we received with prior interviews and from the investigation conducted by the Sheriff's Office, we felt that it was necessary to just take a further look at everything and all the evidence, just to make sure there was no wrongdoing.
The Sheriff's investigation found that Constable Smith's suicide attempt was the result of an alcohol-fueled fight with his wife. In a 911 call obtained by CBS 19, Liz Smith said there was some sort of fight.
We were fighting and I was left, and I just got back.
But in that interview last month, the couple maintained they only had a small argument and that the shooting was an accident.
That's what it appeared like to me, that just dropping things and fumbling.
And I do. I'm clumsy. I mean, I'm always dropping stuff. So.
Right.
And if I did drop that gun on the hammer and it hit something solid on the hammer, it would have.
Jay Brooks tells me he has made no conclusions about the case, but he has to ensure that Deputy Liz Smith's credibility has not been damaged.
As she's continuing to do her job, that her investigations could not be tainted going forward.
And Brooks tells me there's no timetable to complete his investigation. He says that Smith remains on the job and there's been no reason to question her performance. Mike and Gillian.
Samuel, what kind of sanctions could Deputy Smith face?
Well, Brooks really didn't want to get into specifics at this point, but says if she's found to have violated county policy, the range goes all the way up to termination. But he stressed that it is still early in this process and he has not reached any conclusions.
All right, thank you.
We will continue to follow it. Now, at last check, Constable Smith had returned to the hospital. He had more surgery. No update on his condition or if he is now back home.
At CBS 19 checked, we were told that he intends to remain in his position as constable.
Lawmakers are again pitching a series of bills meant to end or modify Sunday blue laws in Texas that place restrictions on the sale of vehicles and liquor. The laws prohibited Sunday sales of items like knives and washing machines. Most of the laws were repealed in 1985, but vehicles still cannot be sold on consecutive Sundays, and liquor stores must be closed. It's not clear when that proposal may receive a hearing in the legislature. Other bills look at inconsistencies like liquor stores being closed on Sundays, while bars and restaurants can serve mixed drinks on Sundays. The state halts the execution for an East Texas man scheduled for this Wednesday. 55-year-old Randall Mays of Henderson County was scheduled to die by lethal injection for the killings of two sheriff's deputies. The court agreed with Mays' lawyers that additional review is needed to determine if Mays is mentally competent for execution.
New information tonight, the Texas Senate giving a preliminary go-ahead to allow licensed open carry of handguns in the state. The first major gun rights vote of the legislative season coming this afternoon. after more than 2 hours of debate. A final vote to send the bill to the House expected tomorrow. Texas has allowed concealed carry of handguns since 1995, but a recent push for open carry has been taken up by new Republican leaders such as Governor Greg Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Texas is just one of 6 states that ban open carry of handguns, opponents saying openly carrying guns intimidates the general public.
White Oak ISD has stopped prayers over the intercom announcements during school. Last week we told you about an instance where a student reported a principal to the Freedom from Religion organization for reciting Bible verses. CBS 19 spoke with Superintendent Michael Gilbert today, who says he's been contacted by media nationwide about this issue. He declined to speak on camera, but told us, quote, "The principal will continue to offer his thought of the day, but it will not include chapters and verses from Bible scriptures." One person is dead tonight after a multiple vehicle accident on Highway 31 East in Smith County. According to troopers, that crash happened just before 6:30 tonight at the intersection of Highway 31 and County Road 233 near Hickory Hill Barbecue. Details of what exactly happened and who was involved in that accident unknown at this time. We will update you as we get more information.
20 years in prison for the third and final suspect in Tyler's infamous P.T. Cole Park murder. Today, Rakeem Goldstein pleading guilty to killing 20-year-old Brianna Young in the summer of 2013. He had previously testified against co-defendant Dennis Bendy in a trial that put Bendy in prison for life. Just last week, Elisha Williams took a plea bargain with a 45-year sentence. The three of them targeting a rival gang member during that shooting at the park that night. Brianna Young was simply caught in the crossfire.
Well, people in Smith County are wondering why there's been so much crime. Some are linking it to the sale of alcohol. Over 24 robberies and burglaries happened in Smith County this month alone. Just a week ago, 13 cars burglarized in a Bullard neighborhood. Following that, a Tyler gas station robbed at gunpoint over the weekend. CBS 19 has requested crime numbers for after alcohol was allowed for sale, and we'll bring you those numbers once we get them to compare and see what's going on.
Week 3 of the Boston Marathon bomber trial starting with a field trip and testimony about a ferocious gun battle between police and the two brothers accused of carrying out the crime.
The surviving suspect, 21-year-old Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, faces dozens of federal charges for the twin bombings that killed 3 people and injured 264 right near the finish line of the 2013 Boston Marathon.
CBS News' Marley Hall showing us now more from court today, including the information about the brother Tamerlan, who died in a police shootout.
3 police officers took the stand to testify about the violent gunfight they had with Dzhokhar Tsarnaev and his older brother Tamerlan. Watertown officer Joseph Reynolds was the first on the scene. He testified he locked eyes with Tamerlan. He told jurors the brothers stopped the car, and that's when Tamerlan came out of his door and started shooting at me. Sergeant Jeffrey Pugily said he also exchanged gunfire with Tamerlan and eventually came face to face with him. The officer said Tamerlan threw his malfunctioning gun at him. Shortly after, Pugily said he tackled Tamerlan. Grainy photos show officers wrestling with him. Pugily said he tried to pull Tamerlan out of the way as his brother Dzhokhar drove the SUV right at them. Dzhokhar ran over his brother and dragged him down the street. Dzhokhar escaped. Tamerlan died a short time later. Later that night, police caught up with Dzhokhar hiding inside a boat called the Slipaway 2. Jurors took a field trip to see the boat for themselves. 2 pool reporters went with the jurors.
We observed at least 110 bullet holes, obvious bullet holes in the boat.
Jurors also saw the blood-stained note Tsarnaev scrawled in pencil inside the boat. The reporter said Tsarnaev was unshackled and emotionless as he watched the jurors. Marley Hall, CBS News, Boston.
Dzhokhar Tsarnaev faces the death penalty if convicted.
Secretary of State John Kerry resumes talks with the Iranian foreign minister on the nuclear program today. Kerry met with Mohammad Zarif in Switzerland just 2 weeks out from a deadline for the framework on an agreement. The deal that had been taking shape would freeze Iran's nuclear program for at least a decade with restrictions, then gradually lifted over a period of 5 years. Iran says it is only interested in peaceful energy generation and medical research, but much of the world suspects the country has maintained covert covert nuclear weapons ambitions.
Nacogdoches County investigators continue to search some woods in Cushing where human remains were found over the weekend. Investigators say the remains appear to have been there for a number of years, and foul play could be involved. The remains will be sent to a crime lab to be identified, a process that could take several weeks.
The Department of Public Safety has new evidence in a hit-and-run accident that happened in Wood County near Winsboro last week. Investigators located a piece of passenger side mirror and narrowed a suspect vehicle down to a 2006 to 2013 white or off-white Chevy Impala. There is reason to believe the driver travels down FM 852 frequently or is at least familiar with that area. One victim is expected to live. Anyone with information regarding this crash is asked to contact DPS.
So after days of gray, we had a gorgeous sunny day today.
Sure was nice, wasn't it?
It was.
We're all beginning to think that we may not see the sun again, and then it appears, but get used to it.
Yeah.
Or don't get used to it because
Either
the sun's
one.
not sticking around long.
It changes really fast. Chief Meteorologist John Adams has a preview of the forecast.
Yeah, that's East Texas weather, but it is a nice night out there, just like the day was. In Longview, as we check the camera from the Austin Bank building, we can see that it is dry. Traffic's moving along pretty smoothly, and a comfortable 64 degrees, the current temperature. Not much of a breeze out there this evening. As we take a look at what happened today, it was the warmest day we've seen in nearly 2 weeks in the area. It was 83 degrees in Lufkin this afternoon, 79 in Nacogdoches, 78 in Tyler and in Longview. But again, say goodbye to the sun after tomorrow. Rain will be arriving Wednesday. It's going to stick around into the weekend, could have another inch or two, and of course flooding could be a concern again. And at the end of the week, spring begins on Friday, 5:45 in the afternoon. We'll have your 7-day planner coming up.
And that sunshine was welcome on this day that Tyler police officers have been looking forward to for years, the groundbreaking of the new South Side substation. This substation expected to bring faster response times to the south side of Tyler, as well as saving more than $200,000 a year in fuel costs and staffing.
It's extremely exciting. It's been a project we worked for over 10 years. When we originally remodeled our police department, the first thing is where do we go next? And so this was obvious where we needed to move next with the growth of the city of Tyler.
The project is paid for by the half-cent sales tax program. The station is expected to open in November.
Looks pretty nice, doesn't it?
It does.
Still ahead on CBS 19 News at 10.
You toss, you turn, you can't get to sleep. But now millions of Americans are spending big bucks to catch some Z's. What they're buying.
And coming up, billions of dollars may be wasted every year by the IRS. Why some aren't being taxed.
The world doesn't stop when you go to bed. Catch up on everything you missed while you were sleeping on CBS 19 this morning. CBS 19 closed captioning is brought to you by Southside Bank. Banking made easy. We promise.
In money issues, the government isn't keeping up with which Americans are dead or alive, and according to 60 Minutes, that's costing taxpayers billions of dollars. Many living Americans are added to the list, which means the IRS isn't collecting taxes on them. And thousands of people who passed away don't get on the list, which translates into billions in fraudulent Social Security payments. Well, the federal government announced a new system to track seafood in an effort to stop illegal fishing. Consumers will eventually be told where their fish was caught, processed, and stored. 90% of seafood in the U.S. is imported, but the government says just about 1% of seafood imports are inspected.
The CDC says that up to 70 million Americans suffer from sleep disorders. That is, sleep disorders. That's more than 1 in 5 of us, and the government calls it a public health epidemic. So much of a problem that we're willing to pay for it, to pay to do something about it. This is a place where you can pay to sleep. It's a nap spa where you pay $1 a minute, up to 40 minutes. There are temperature-controlled pillows, high-tech gadgets that track your sleep cycle, and mattresses that can cost more than $100,000. Stuff with genuine horsehair to keep sleepers cool and dry. Rebecca Robbins works at a sleep center. She's also a research scientist at Cornell University.
It's within our reach, and too often as Americans we think it's not. 70% of Americans are sleep deprived, but we don't have to be.
Sleep assistance industry has estimated revenues of at least $32 billion with the B dollars a year. Medical experts say there are some things that definitely work to get a better night's sleep: exercise, going to bed at the same time every night, and keeping computer screens out of your bedroom.
And right now you can see that in Tyler we've got a nice night out there. 69 degrees is the current temperature. Our winds are very light, just south and barely registering there. And a lot of traffic moving out on Broadway and headed southward, some of it crossing there on Shiloh. But in general, a pretty nice night. As we go to our satellite loop, show you what's happened over the last 6 hours. We continue to see moisture flowing into Texas. It's coming ahead of a trough of low pressure near the southern tip of Baja Peninsula there. And it's being blocked by high pressure, which is over East Texas, northern Louisiana. So that's why we got to see the sun today while the moisture stayed out west. That's going to be changing. That ridge will be breaking down, and that moisture will be moving on into our area as that low finally moves away from Baja and across northern Mexico and the southern portions of Texas. So what that all means is the rain will be coming back. It's going to take another 24 to 36 hours for that to happen, however. Temperatures in Texas tonight, well, they're pretty mild, 60s and 70s over most of the state this evening. And a close look at East Texas shows the temperatures are also in the 60s across the area. So pretty pleasant evening out there tonight. And as we check out your hour-by-hour planner, we're going to start off mostly clear. We'll see the clouds start to move in, though, during the overnight hours. And by 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll call it partly to mostly cloudy. Temperatures in the lower half of the 60s. By lunchtime, though, we'll see a few more breaks in the clouds as temperatures kind of warm up a bit. So we'll call that partly cloudy and low 70s for the temperatures. In the afternoon, well, the clouds going to move in back and forth. Will become mostly cloudy by late afternoon. Could even see a light shower or two starting in some of our southern counties there near Tuesday afternoon, and our temperatures on up into the upper 70s. So another warm day and pretty nice day actually coming up on Tuesday. That begins to change Tuesday night as we start to see a little better chance of some rain in the area, and by Wednesday rain is going to become likely as we get that upper air trough moving in our direction and a cold front coming down into the area. It'll help to generate some of that rain. It'll pull up stationary, so we'll get a little break from that rain on Thursday, but then another upper air disturbance comes in, so rain will increase again on Friday. So here's the way it's going to look for your day part planner. Starting off in the morning, we'll call it partly cloudy. We'll take temperatures in the 60s up to 72 by noon and mid-70s in the afternoon with that slight chance of showers, and we'll have a southwest wind between 5 and 10 miles per hour throughout the day. Here's your next 7 days, and there's that rain on Wednesday. It's a good 70% chance. 59 to 68 our temperatures. Thursday, slight chance of showers, and then on Friday that second upper air trough comes in, gets involved with that front, pushes it on to the south, increases our rain again, and this time it will last into Saturday before it finally comes to an end. And Sunday will be sunny. Pretty good day coming up there for the second half of the weekend, and a good start to next week. Check that 7-day planner. It's always at our website, cbs19.tv.
In other words, just keep the umbrella handy all week.
Gonna need it.
All right. Thank you, John.
All right. I'll never put it away. A man is caught on the side of a dangerous trail in Hawaii, but he's rescued, and it's all caught on camera. We'll show you the video.
Plus, a man in North Texas thinks he's got a free ride in an open road, what he stole, and how he was caught in the act. Next.
Experienced. Clint Yates. CBS 19 this morning.
New tonight, he thought he was going to get away with it, but the man who officers say carjacked a Fort Worth ambulance was being recorded the whole time he was in there. Take a look. MedStar released this dash cam video from the ambulance, and you see it speed through a few blocks, eventually crashing through a drainage ditch and a fence, ending up in a parking lot. Police arrested this man, Kenneth Golightly, a short distance away. Now, the crew is fine, but the ambulance is totaled. Golightly has been charged with aggravated robbery, and his bond has been set at $20,000.
And he did wear his seatbelt.
Yeah, he did.
All right, incredible video of a witness caught of firefighters rappelling to rescue an injured hiker in Hawaii. You can see right here the rescue team pluck him from the side of the cliff. The area is about an hour away from the famed Crouching Lion hike on Oahu's windward side. Firefighters say a 25-year-old man fell about 20 feet while he was hiking with some friends and then slid about 150 feet down the mountainside. Captain Jenkins says there have been fatalities in the past at this same trail. Boy, he is lucky.
Trail Pu'umanamana is a very, very hazardous trail. There are certain portions of it that's extremely treacherous where the width of the trail itself is no wider than a sidewalk, and the trail drops tremendously on either side, from 100 feet to several hundred feet.
My goodness. Firefighters say he suffered injuries to the left side of his body and his face. He was alert, though, and oriented when they got him. He is lucky. He
is very lucky. Eric, you're now TJC starting in the national tournament today.
Gotta like this, both the guys and girls in action today. The guys played early this morning. The ladies are going at it as we speak. We got your highlights coming up, and how big is it to be an SFA Lumberjack right now? We'll hear from the coach next.
Children Are a Gift is brought to you by Peters Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. CBS 19 News investigates coverage you can count on.
What's up, everybody? Your TV times for round one of the NCAA tournament is coming up. First up, the TJC Apaches and their round one junior college national tournament game starting at 10 a.m. this morning up in Hutchinson, Kansas. Faulkner State, the opponent, and Faith Pope was dominating. He had 19 as he knocks down the tray, and then Dominique Shaw to Ronnie Stacy, back to Dominique. The Lufkin native had 16 points, and then Dale Jones was raining threes. He had 5 on the day. He led the way with 25, and there's another great play by Dominique Shaw. Look at that. The TJC Apaches are just on fire right now. They take it 79-62. They play again at 2 o'clock tomorrow in round number 2. The ladies had the late game tonight in Salina, Kansas, taking on Lawson State, and Jasmine Prophet, 6-foot center down low, up and in for 2. The Lady Apaches rebound as good as anybody. Sandy Jackson working the boards, puts it up and in, and then Amber Driver, not 1, not 2, third attempt is in. Look at this. The Lady Apaches with about 4 minutes to go, up 91-48. They are off until Wednesday when they play their round 2 game at 3:30 p.m. Now, the 2 NCAA tournament playing games are tomorrow and Wednesday. Then at 11 a.m. Thursday, the action will take place all day long. Remember, the games are on 4 different channels: CBS 19, TNT, TBS, and True TV. And there's your SFA Lumberjacks playing at 6:25 Thursday on True TV. Texas will play Thursday as well at 1:45 on CBS 19. Baylor plays Thursday at 12:40 on TBS, and then the SMU Mustangs 2:10 on Thursday on True TV. More on the Lumberjacks now. They are that 12 seed, Utah the 5. There's always an upset in that matchup. In fact, the Jacks did it last year to VCU. This year they'll be in Portland, Oregon. That's the region they're in on Thursday. The SFA Tyler alumni chapter is going to have a big watch party at Buffalo Wild Wings. Check out that action there. Then yesterday, the Jacks had their watch party, and head coach Brad Underwood, he has the bulk of his team returning from last year's run. He feels better than ever to get another upset on Utah this Thursday.
We've instilled 5 or 6 new guys into this this team from last year's team, and the veterans have done a great job of embracing them, showing them the SFA way. We become a deep team. We've become a team that has had many guys help us win games. Last year we couldn't do that, and this team is becoming a well-rounded basketball team.
All right, if you have not filled out your bracket, I had a lot of people email me, Eric, where can I get my bracket? Just go to our website, cbs19.tv. The Pelche Chevrolet bracket is there for you to download and, of course, fill out and hopefully get the brag or win money, whatever you do with your certain bracket there. All right, in the NBA tonight, Oklahoma City in town to take on the Mavericks. Just kind of had a playoff-type atmosphere to it. Big signing for the Texans. They get the 300-pound Vince Wilfork. He signed with them today. He's a 11-year veteran, but in spurts he can still play. And imagine him and J.J. Watt on the line together. Kind of scary right there. So good move for the Texans to get the veteran there today. 300
pounds.
Plus. That's what he's listed as. Yeah. He's got a few pork chops there, too.
An Airstream with a helmet. All right, John has tomorrow's forecast after this.
Right, we'll be right back.
We'll have a nice start to the day. It's going to be partly cloudy early, 61 degrees there at 8 o'clock. We're up to 72 by noon, on into the mid to upper 70s in the afternoon. So another warm, nice day coming up on Tuesday, but we do bring in that slight chance of showers late in the afternoon. Now, we do increase the rain on Wednesday. There's going to be a 70% chance. It'll taper off a little on Thursday, but come right back on Friday. Could have 1 to 2 inches of rain by the time it ends on Saturday. Sunday looks good with sunny skies, highs near 70.
Whew. There's a lot of rain.
Yeah, we've had a lot of it, no question about it.
Thank you for watching CBS 19 News at 10.
Have a great night.
See you tomorrow.
KYTX CBS 19 News app is brought to you by Hyundai of Longview. You pick it out, we'll work it out. We're KYTX. Texas is in our name.